Here we are back with another Horizon Forbidden West video, and as quickly as possible we're going to go over the best weapons and how to get them as soon as possible, and we'll end up going over basically every legendary weapon hidden in Forbidden West, including hunting bows, sharp shot bows, spike throwers, bolt blasters, and really the best variants of every type of weapon. Make sure you guys let me know down in the comments what your favorite Forbidden West weapon is so far. So first off, we're going to start with the legendary Karjasbane warrior bow, because getting this weapon was the bane of my existence. It's the best and only legendary warrior bow, and you have to complete 4 different races, which honestly doesn't sound like it would be a huge deal, but doing these races is the most annoyed I have possibly ever felt in a game. The first race is here near Scalding Spear, and it's actually in your quest list as well, called Dry Urn. And you have to do this race first because they go in order and have a little story to them. The second one is called Cliffs of the Cry and takes you all the way across the map to the southern peninsula along the beach. Then you'll have a third race called Bone White Tear, all the way up at the northwest corner of the map. And then finally, our fourth and final race called the Still Sands, which takes place in Vegas. After completing all 4 of these races in that order, you'll find the warrior bow in a supply crate right next to where you talk to the secret NPC that raced with you. There do seem to be some story locks to these races, like the 4th one I know for sure won't show up until you deliver Poseidon during the story missions. And then just some tips, you're gonna have to spam arrows at these guys like crazy. If you hit an enemy twice, they'll get knocked off their mount completely. You can also melee the enemies once they get really close to you and kind of steer you off of the road. And then when you have to make a sharp turn, like one of the turns on the mountain during the 3rd race, turn your camera completely to whichever direction you're turning. That seems to help a little bit with the turn. I feel like whoever designed both the races and the movement in general on the mounts didn't test it at all. The first 2 races are pretty easy, but the 3rd and the 4th ones were something else, man. The enemies just plow through you, but if you come up behind them, it's like hitting a brick wall. They're faster than you despite you having to start off in the back. Your mount just randomly stops when it hits different elevations or even a pebble lying on the ground, and you'll completely turn and get stuck on an invisible barrier coming off of a pole. But yeah, I had fun during the first 2 races. Those last 2 though are a pain. If you think the other weapons were a grind, this one might be even worse, because to get the legendary Tinker's Pride Tripcaster, you have to complete all of the hunting grounds trials in the game and get 3 stripes on each one. There are 4 hunting grounds with 3 different trials each, and the first hunting ground is located starting here at the Daunt towards the starting area of the map. Then just west of there, you can find the Plainsong hunting grounds. Even further west is the more mountainous region, where you'll find the Shearside Mountains hunting ground, and then far south of there, you'll come across the Raintress hunting grounds. You will have to complete the Iota Cauldron in order to override the Claw Striders that are required in the final hunting grounds, by the way. You get like a challenge to override 3 of them, I think, and completing that Iota Cauldron will unlock those overrides. These hunting challenges really aren't too bad, but if you're having trouble with really anything in Forbidden West, you can always turn down the difficulty a bit. Ancestor's Return is the best Shredder Gauntlet, which is an entirely new type of weapon in Horizon Forbidden West, which shoots out a disc at enemies. Each time you launch a disc, you can catch it and shoot it again for even more damage. Ancestor's Return relies on these discs in order to deal poison, electric, and piercing damage. For this one, you'll need to collect 9 ornaments in Relic Ruins, which are basically each a giant puzzle room. You can find and complete all 8 of these Relic Ruins at any time during the game, and they start off over here towards the start of the game, which is called the Daunt. Then you can head just barely southwest to the No Man's Land Ruins. If you head northwest of the last one, you can come to the Restless Weald Relic Ruins. Then you can run over to the Dry Urn Ruins, located just southwest of us. And if you come over to the Runner's Wild Relic, it can be found in the ruins here northwest of that last one, as well as from the Scalding Spear. And if you head way over to the western portion of the map, you can find the Long Coast Relic Ruins. Continuing west over to the island portion of the map, you'll come to the Isle of Spires Relic. And then the 8th ruin will be found all the way back over at the desert section of the map, called the Still Sands, and that's also the name of this ruin. The reason I left this one for last is because if you head south of here, you'll come to our 9th relic ruin, which can only be accessed during the Night of Lights side mission. The quest giver, Stemmer, is located here inside of the Hidden Ember on the 3rd floor of the main building. Just go inside and up the stairs, and then up the ladder and talk to him. You can do this side mission at any time as well, by the way. You don't have to save it for last. Stemmer will then have you head over to Dune Hollow, which is like right next door in the same little town marked with the green icon. Once you have all 9 ornaments, you can head back to the Hidden Ember and give them to Stemmer. Once you talk to him and just pick a holiday, he'll have you take a little peek at the chest behind you towards the ladder you came up, and inside of that is where you'll find the Ancestor's Return Shredder Gauntlet. Here we have the legendary Sun Scourge Hunter's Bow, and if there's one legendary weapon on this list that's completely necessary, it's this one, because I don't know if there's a weapon I use more in Horizon than the Hunter's Bows. But this one comes with 3 different elemental arrows, fire, ice, and acid, which are the 3 you'll probably need the most, and they basically instantly put the enemy in the elemental state that you shoot it with. Now, this bow is amazing, but it doesn't have any regular old arrows, which is why there's another legendary Hunter's Bow later on. Pairing these 2 together is pretty wild. You get the Sun Scourge by completing all 6 of the rebel camps, but don't get these confused with the rebel outposts because they're 2 different things. The outposts are much smaller. Basically, at each camp you need to find the leader and complete an objective there. You can complete the first 5 in any order, starting here near the Daunt, called Eastern Lie. Next up, the Hive lies a bit more southwest towards the center area of the map. And then the Devil's Grasp can be found at the southern edge of the Stilllands Desert. Fenrise can be found just barely west of the last camp inside of the jungle. Once you complete those 5, you can go complete the 6th and final rebel camp. Go to your quests tab and down to the rebel camps, and you should have one called the First Forge. After completing that and beating the final enemy, you can loot her corpse for the Sun Scourge bow. The Sky Killer is a legendary spike thrower, and it is one of my favorite weapons in Forbidden West simply because the spike throwers are really great weapons, and it's the only legendary spike thrower in the game. It also uses explosive and fire spikes, and if you've ever used the explosive spikes, you know they're awesome with killing some of the bigger enemies such as the Thunderjaw. You get it just by going over here to the Legacy Landfall Settlement found on the island. Once you're there, you can talk to Harium and Christia, found on one of the ships at the dock, to start the Way Home side quest. They'll have you fly over to a shipwreck in the middle of the ocean, and you'll have to search for a gyro compass and some scrap piles. After returning to those 2 quest givers, they'll have you go out once again to an ancient shipwreck where you'll have to dive underwater and grab a sensor unit and some batteries. Once you interact with the sensor unit that's underwater, there's a battery on the floor right below it, another one on the opposite side of the ship hidden on the ocean floor as well, and then the 3rd one is inside of a building with some blue holograms outside of it. Just hit R3 to scan and try to get the little sonar blips to pop up for each battery. Once you return to those quest givers, they'll send you out again, and you'll be rewarded with the Sky Killer legendary spike thrower upon your return. The Wings of the 10 legendary blast sling can be obtained by collecting 12 black boxes hidden across the map in plain wreckages. These are really simple to get, and if you can't open the doors to one, there's most likely a battery lying around on the ground that you need to plug in to open it. The first one is here, sort of towards the upper east side of the map, and you just have to grab a battery, which you should be able to scan for to the right side of the plane's opening. Just southwest, you can find the next black box's wreckage in the mountains, but it's actually not in a plane and is under some wreckage you can pull off with the polecaster. To the northwest of there, you can find the next black box on the edge of an icy cliff, and you just have to climb up the side of the mountain and open up the doors to obtain the black box. The Bone White Tier black box is found far northwest along the edge of the map, and you'll find a battery inside of the nearby camp which you can pick up and walk over to the plane wreckage just a few steps away. Now we're going to fast travel all the way to the island and go up to the northern portion of it where a plane wreckage lies, and this black box is found just in between the 2 halves of the plane in the water. The stand of the Sentinel's black box can be found back on the western side of the map, and after using the polecaster to unblock a hole, you'll find the box hidden in there. Southeast of the last one, you'll find a black box called the Raintress, and here you'll be able to smash a metal flower in the middle of the wreckage to destroy some vines that uncover a battery, which you can then take over to the door. Now we're going to come over to the edge of the jungle to find a plane wreckage hanging from some trees, and all you have to do here is traverse onto the wing of the plane, and from there go up onto the other side where you can run towards the back of the plane and grab the black box inside. Over in the Still Sands, you'll be able to find the 10th black box right next to this setup camp, and there's a metal flower you'll have to hit 3 times and then charge to destroy the vines, and inside you'll use your polecaster to pull a box to uncover the black box. In the middle of this green pond is where we'll find a sunken plane containing our next recording. Just dive down there and open up the door. Our final recording is going to be not too far away from that lake, on a hill above another camp, and again, you just have to literally open up a door to get the final one. Now we just have to head over to the maw of the arena and talk to Untala, who actually gives us the quest to find these black boxes, and this is where you can trade each black box for a resource in order to obtain the Wings of 10 Blast Sling as a final reward. Our final 3 legendary weapons are going to be purchased from the arena, each for 80 arena medals. So you'll have to grind through some of the arena challenges, which if you haven't by now and you're having trouble, just set the game to easy or story difficulty and complete these, and you should have these done in no time. But you get these medals for completing different arena challenges, and doing all of them will allow you to purchase all of the legendary gear in the shop, because you should have close to 500 medals by that time. To unlock the arenas, you'll have to complete the Cool Route main quest, then you can head over to the maw of the arena and talk to Kala, who gives you a quest called Opening the Arena in order to gain access to it. After gaining 80 medals, you can purchase any one of the legendary weapons over at the Prize Master, who's standing directly in front of the arena gates. You can purchase the Deathseeker's Shadow Hunter bow, which uses the regular advanced arrows and the electric arrows, making it the bow you'll probably use the most. Then there's the Forge Fall Sharp Shot bow, which is just an insane sniper bow, really good for long range stealth shots, and it comes with the more advanced arrows as well as the toxic ones. And finally, you have our last legendary weapon, the Blast Forge Bolt Blaster, which one of the types of bolts it fires deals explosive damage, which is always a plus. Each of these can be purchased for 80 medals each, and if you completed every arena challenge, you should have some extra medals to spare. But that's pretty much it. If you're still here, I appreciate you, and you should now have all of the best weapons. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more Horizon Forbidden West videos. See ya.